when the Migos got their first Grammy, my son said to me, Mama, I'm congratulating him. But he said to me, and this is my firstborn, Mama, your life over with.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, please make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _. Alright, maybe to be a little more explicit, a little more uncensored, and share content freely without running the risk of having our channel terminated. So, once again, make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _. Alright, now let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, this was an interesting audio for many reasons because it told us more than just one thing. Alright, we found out that Quality Control CEO P don't even have a good relationship with his mother, to the point to where she says she never even seen his kids, and also she gave us an insight of him that a lot of us never even knew about. Now, it's one thing to have respect in the streets and have people look up to you because of your success, but it says a lot when your own mother accuse you of being foul and say that her own son is partaking in evil doings within the industry. Now, once again, I'm not saying that P is involved in any foul play within the industry. He keeps a very low profile, so it may be hard to even figure him out. However, I do find it weird that we've never even seen him talk about his mother, let alone seen his mother, nor have seen them in public together or anything. Not during any award shows, any award speeches where he mentioned her, nothing. And I'm assuming that this is why. Now, this woman who was alleging that she's QCP's mother called up to another woman's podcast and even thanked her because she stated that she never gets the chance to speak how she truly feels because she's being hidden due to the thing that she speaks about. Now, she took the time to apologize to TakeOff's mother and grandmother and expressed that out of all the Migos, she genuinely took a liking to TakeOff despite only meeting Offset. Now, things get interesting because as she was expressing her pain for the loss of TakeOff, she says she's also been a victim of the BS that came with QCP being in the industry, saying that it gotten so bad that P haven't even been picking up her calls, saying she's been calling him all week and he haven't even responded to his own mother, nor have she seen him. So in the midst of her explaining the lack of communication, she says that he did his fair share of things to her, as well as family members that physically jumped her, and she's also been jailed and painted as crazy in public because she's been speaking out on what she knows for going on in the industry. Now, one thing that stuck out to me most is part of the audio where she describes the Migos winning their first Grammy, and she says that she was congratulating P on his accomplishment, and he flat out told her, quote, "Mama, your life over with." Now, she says at that point she already knew what he meant. One may assume it may have been a Kanye situation with his mother. We all know that he just recently admitted that she was a sacrifice. But she says one thing about that industry is that they always target any and everything that's pure, which is one of the reasons she felt that TakeOff was targeted, because he was genuine, followed by having a pure soul. So she describes that he was a quote unquote chosen one, and she feels he was targeted for that sole reason. Now, once again, this is a woman who's the mother of a very successful man in the industry, so I could just imagine the things she witnessed or may have seen herself. Now, as we all know, whenever you call these things out, they paint you out to be crazy, and she says that's exactly what they're doing. But moral of the story is she felt TakeOff was sacrificed and apologized to TakeOff's mother and grandmother because she feels her son may have played a part in it. She made it very clear that she don't condone anything that goes on in the industry. In fact, she hates it, and says that your own enemies are always closer than you actually think, which is very true. But read between the lines on what she's trying to say, and we're gonna leave it at that. Now, here's where it get interesting once again, when she starts speaking on the fatal night TakeOff was actually shot and killed. She says she can't say much, but she's seen the video and she said, quote, who's going to go to someone else's house and make threats? Also, she mentioned that Migos was supposed to have real top security with them, being that they are the Migos. Not no regular people. They were surrounded by hood dudes in a pretty much bad area, and they didn't have no security. These are $1 million people. But for whatever reason, they didn't have no security. And she's right. She's pretty much indicating the whole story that we know with Quavo arguing, making threats, was all just a setup for what was to come. And one thing that stuck out to me most is the girl dressed up in the devil costume. She was seen next to TakeOff the whole night, and some of y'all may know how symbolism worked, but I personally feel that that was a big sign of foul play as well. But back to what P's mom was actually saying. Now, in which it does make perfect sense. Who do you know foolish enough to go to someone else's hometown where they're at a disadvantage and make threats, especially towards someone with mob ties and them status, or especially making threats against somebody that you know is supposed to be taking care of you while you are in their hometown? You are at a total disadvantage. Now, she also pointed out that TakeOff didn't even want to be there, and I didn't even know that, but from doing more research and listening to the eyewitnesses who say they was there, they all pretty much say the same thing and said that TakeOff didn't even want to be there. He had the weird vibe and demeanor about him, like he just, was in a setting that he was forced to be in, very much to himself. And that made me think back to the videos I seen from TakeOff that night, where every time someone put the camera on him, he looks as if he didn't want to be there. But of course, he wasn't just going to leave Quavo there by himself and leave him alone, so he stuck by him. Now, she also, towards the end, she began crying and said that her own son, Pierre, will get the vengeance for what he did to TakeOff and herself. And she explained that sometimes it's your own family that could be your worst enemies. And I'm pretty sure that she knows more than what she's saying or that she's able to say, but she just had to get that out because she said also that a lot of these platforms do not let her speak because of who her son is and what she's speaking about. And the sad part about everything is when you think about it, I know when TakeOff was there and seeing Quavo starting to argue, he had to be thinking to himself, oh boy, here we go. You know why? Because first things first, he didn't even want to be there, for one. And then for two, it's not many of them there to defend themselves. And then you also got to keep in mind that they say Quavo was arguing with J. Prince Jr., which means that the protection that they thought they had now turned into enemies. And on top of that, they are outnumbered. So what do you think in a situation like that? How he's thinking? What's going through his head at that point? Not to mention that nobody else besides mob ties members were really permitted to even have weapons. So it's kind of crazy, man. When you sit back and think about it, it's very unfortunate. Somebody also brought something to my attention. Seeing that CEO P's mom actually spoke out. They said it's kind of funny how Wavy Navy Pooh, and I didn't even think about this because I really didn't know much of Wavy Navy Pooh, but they saying as soon as he signed a deal with QC, it's like he been gone. He was shot and killed shortly after. I got to look into that situation. I can't sit here and lie like I know much on the situation, but I'm pretty much going to do a video and see about it myself. I do find it kind of strange that a lot of these artists, as soon as they get signed, it's like their life is over. But y'all jump in the comments, let me know how you feel. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm going to keep on dropping. And I'm out.